going on, Bucs fans? We got a boatload of Bucs news to give you on today's show, which is presented by Prize Picks. My name is Reed Barkus, wherever you're watching, whenever you're watching. Hope you're having a great day today. We have a boatload of stuff to talk about. The Vita Vea situation, what is going on? Why is he holding out of practice? And the whole situation, and we're going to talk about it because, of course, we have another person talking about contract situations. And then we have an interesting quarterback option. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a certain somebody going into the supplemental draft that a lot of teams are talking about. So we're going to have to talk about it on today's show. And then David Walker is back. I saw an article from Tampa Bay. Oh my goodness. Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sports Illustrated talking about how David Walker is back and healthy. So we're going to talk about that and see what we could see from him in 2026. Now, to start off with the Vita Vea situation, obviously, Adam Schefter dropping this tweet right here saying Bucs Pro Bowl DT Vita Vea, who is entering the last year of his contract, scheduled to pay him $15 million without any guaranteed money, not practicing this week, and was a minicamp hold in. So he was at minicamp, but he was in shorts and off to the side. He was just hanging out with everybody, not practicing, not doing any drills. He was just in a shorts and T-shirt, hanging out with coaches, hanging out with the players and stuff like that. But he was still there on the sideline at practice. And Todd Bowles was asked about Vita Vea. And before this, he actually said that it wasn't an injury. And they asked him on Vita Vea, what's going on? He said, it's not concerning. We've been through it before. It's part of the business. So when talking about contracts and stuff, it's part of the NFL business. I've said this before on a different show. The NFL is a business. The salary cap goes up because consumers are watching more. You're making more money on different types of stuff in the NFL. It's all about money, so it's just the reality of it. You're playing a kid's sport for money, so the money part becomes a big part of it. And Vita Vea has been a big part of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he signed that 4-year contract worth $71 million. He's averaging 17 over the course of 4 years, and he's due $17 million in 2026, but none of it is guaranteed. So it seems like he's sitting out to avoid injury. And Jenna Lane talked about this as well on ESPN. Shout out to her for that article. It seems like he's sitting out because he doesn't want to get injured, and that's what a lot of players like to do is if they don't have any guaranteed money and the team is like, yeah, we don't really need to see you in practice at all, they're not going to practice because there's a risk, a chance that he gets injured, right? So you don't want to risk that when he has no guaranteed money and he doesn't really need to practice. We know he's a 31-year-old veteran. We know what we're getting out of Vita Vea, and he had that foot injury last year. So we don't want anything to happen, and he doesn't have any guaranteed money. These guys are on contracts. It's not like a salaried employee where, you're coming to work, and if you don't come to work, you're still going to get paid. It's tough sometimes. So you need to take the precautions, and that's what Vita Vea is doing. But the Bucs have two huge decisions coming up. Vita Vea and Baker Mayfield. These are two, I would say, veterans. I mean, he's more of a Bucs veteran than Baker Mayfield is. But this is two big contracts that you have to decide who are you going to pay, right? Or is it going to be both? How much is Vita Vea going to cost? He's an aging nose tackle, probably out in the next 2 or 3 years, I'd say, maybe, depending on what happens. I know Calais Campbell is beating Father Time, but same time, Baker Mayfield, if they don't get anything done before the 2026 season, if he balls out, you're going to have to pay him a lot of money. The quarterback market is skyrocketing right now. Guys like C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Bo Nix, all these guys are going to need contracts. Jane Daniels, Drake May, this is going to be interesting. So Baker Mayfield, if he balls out, he's going to get a lot of money. So could you pay Vita Vea? You're going to have to let him go. We already let one legend go last year in free agency. I don't know. Huge decisions to make. That brings us to the Prize Picks question of the day. Who gets paid first? Vita Vea, type VV, or Baker Mayfield, type BM down in the comment section because it's a huge decision, and I want to know from you guys. And while you guys are answering that question, make sure to go down in the comments, answer who you think is going to get paid first. But down there, you'll find a link to our friends over at Prize Picks because today's show is presented by Prize Picks. If you guys don't know what's going on right now, it is a big soccer time right now. The World Cup is happening, and I have to get in on the action. Now, if you look at my lineup here, I have Muhammad. I'm going to butcher these names all the time. It's the World Cup. Give me a break, guys. Muhammad Ahmad. Yeah, that works. That is more for the goalie saves because I believe in that Qatar and Canada game. Canada, I think, is going to have a ton of shots on goal. They might win this game as well. So I think that goalie is going to be all around. So he's going to be saving. And then they have a great flash deal here with 1.5 shots for Julian. And then Kim, we got the more on his 53.5 passes attempted. So that $20 entry could win you $105. So if you guys want to get started with our friends over at Prize Picks, it's a great way to watch sports and win some money at the same time. I've been using it since 2022, so if that doesn't say how good Prize Picks is, I don't know what does. So they also have an offer for new users. Download the Prize Picks app today with the link in the comments and description, and use code HMA. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. One more time, don't miss this deal. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. All right. So we talked about the Vita Vea situation. Moving on to the second shipload of boatload of news. Interesting QB option. This is for the Bucs and just interesting QB option for everybody. If you guys did not know, I can't believe I'm talking about this. I seriously can't. I can't believe I'm talking about this, guys. Brendan Sorsby, the Cincinnati quarterback, transferring to Texas Tech, was caught up in a gambling scandal. He gambled on a lot of things. And as a college athlete, you are not allowed to do that, right? I feel like everybody knows that you're not allowed to do that when you're playing in such a high sport like the NCAA and especially professional sports as well. But he's not looking good, right? He was trying to go back to Texas Tech, and they said yes, I guess, but it didn't look good. So he's entering the supplemental draft. Sources tell NFL Network, this is from Tom Pelissero. After legal wrangling with his NCAA eligibility, Sorsby, regarded as a first-round talent, now could be the highest drafted supplemental pick in decades. So this is a big deal, right? Because Sorsby placed 40-plus bets involving Iowa University, wagered over $90K over 4 years, and still made bets after transferring to Texas Tech University. What? This is an insane story, and it's kind of crazy that I'm even talking about this. But so if you guys are wondering, okay, NFL supplemental draft, what does that even mean? There's a couple. It was Terrell Pryor was one of the big names that was from Brian Bosworth too, Chris Carter. Like there's a lot of people that came out of the NFL draft or the NFL supplemental draft that are big names. So how does it work? NFL sends an email to teams with players available. Obviously, Sorsby's going to be in that. Teams put a 2027 draft pick bid, and highest round bid wins the player. So there's people talking about people giving a third-round pick up for Sorsby, even second-round pick. Like, for a guy that has this scandal and we haven't even seen him play a ton, like, yeah, he's good, but, like, I don't know. And so if multiple teams put in the same round, the order goes in a random based on 3 groups, like a lottery system. So the 3 separate lottery systems are teams with 6 or less wins, 6+ wins, no playoffs, and then playoff teams. So we would be right here in the middle of 6+ wins, no playoff team. So I think I saw something where it was the last team in the NFL gets 32 balls that are going to be in that lottery, and then the other, like the Seahawks, get 1. So it's like the Bucs have been mentioned as a team that could be interested because if you don't know, our quarterback right now is not under contract after this year. So this is his last year on his contract, and I've heard a lot of rumblings of the Bucs being like, hey, not the Bucs specifically, but people saying the Bucs should be interested because they don't know who's going to be their quarterback after, right? Like the obvious is Baker Mayfield, if they don't get a deal done, he's going to be a free agent in 2027. And if you don't pay him then, he could get a different deal at a team like the Steelers who are going to have more money to pay him. So does he want to leave the Bucs? Does he love the Bucs that much that he would be willing to not make as much money depending on how well he does in the 2026 season? So if they don't get a deal done, do we actually look at Brendan Sorsby? Because Matt Miller from ESPN said he'd be ahead of Ty Simpson, the Alabama quarterback that went in the first round to the Los Angeles Rams. It's a first-round talent, and we got ESPN Matt Miller saying he's better than Ty Simpson? I don't know. It's like it begs the question, right? Should the Bucs put in a bid for Brendan Sorsby? And that's the question I'm going to ask you guys. Be honest right now. If you're thinking in your head, this guy's got a scandal, doesn't know what's going on, like you don't know what's going on, how good can he be? People are saying he's better than Ty Simpson. Like there's a lot of stuff going on. So let me know, should the Bucs put in a bid for Brendan Sorsby? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know down in the comment section. You might get hit with the YouTube ad break, so if that happens, make sure to scroll on down, answer the question, and I'm going to give my answer in just a couple seconds. For me, I'm bringing up my guy, Randy Jackson. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me. There's too much going on with his background, everything that was going on with the Tennessee or the Texas Tech and everything like that, and I feel like Jason Licht is not the type of guy to go after the type of guy that is going on with Brendan Sorsby. I'm sorry. I think you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. I think Jason Licht's more of the cookie-cutter type guy in the draft that is just normal, I guess, not a ton of baggage like Sorsby has. So that's my take. You guys let me know down in the comment section. Before we get to the last bit of boatload of news, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, and that is SeatGeek. Shout out to SeatGeek. They made today's show possible. You don't have any commercials. It's totally free to watch this show, and that is thanks to SeatGeek. When it's time to get out of the house, there's no better options right now than a ball game. Use code CHAT10 to get 10% off your next set of tickets. Now, MLB is in full swing, and the NHL and NBA playoffs, unfortunately, are done. But if you guys want to go get some tickets for a Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, you guys can do that on SeatGeek. Now, the best part about SeatGeek is you can see what your view is going to look like from your seat. So that is absolutely awesome. So if you guys are trying to get ahead of getting tickets for these games at Raymond James Stadium, SeatGeek is the place to go. Whether it's a football game or it's a baseball game or a concert with your significant other, like a Noah Khan concert, SeatGeek has your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. That means good. Red means bad. And if you're trying to go to the World Cup, they got World Cup games going on right now. If you want to make a trip over to SoFi Stadium June 25th, they have tickets available right now on SeatGeek. You can see right on your screen right now what your seat would look like. That's a green dot. That means it is a good deal. And of course, I have a code for you guys to make sure you can get a deal. You can use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets, including World Cup or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with promo code CHAT10. Just click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring today's show. Now, the last part of today's show, David Walker, a fourth-round pick out of Central Arkansas, is back. I was devastated last year when he tore his ACL in training camp back in July. He's coming back from injury. He's only 26 years old, 6'2", 260. I was expecting a lot from him last year, but it turns out he goes down with an injury. Sorry, guys. Goes down with an injury to his knee, and we don't get to see him. And unfortunately, I was hoping that he would be a big part of that defense last year. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers on SI talking about David Walker. Walker has said that he is a healthier and ready for the upcoming season. We've also heard praise from the General Manager Jason Licht in recent months about essentially having an extra draft pick with Walker returning from the major injury. Bucs head coach Todd Bowles has also mentioned in recent practices that Walker is looking more and more like the player they thought he would be coming out of the 2025 NFL draft. Now, I want to point out something that Jason Licht said right there. An extra draft pick, that's awesome. we get Reuben Bain, and then we get another edge rusher in David Walker. I thought that was pretty cool because David Walker, it is like having an extra draft pick because you don't see him at all last year. And then now you have like a totally revamped defense, and it's like, oh, yeah, David Walker's here too. And it's like we haven't seen him play an NFL game. So it is awesome. So obviously, like I said before, Reuben Bain Jr., you get that pick at number 15. Josiah Trotter, Alex Anzalone, you bring in free agency. And Yaya Diami's the only real like starter. We add Al-Qudim Muhammad as well. And we still have Anthony Nelson, who's probably going to be in front of David Walker. But I think David Walker is going to get some run. I honestly do. Because the last time we saw anything going on, that was his stats at Central Arkansas, which he had 191 tackles, 63 TFLs, 31 sacks, and 8 passes defended with 6 forced fumbles. So those are all his stats from Central Arkansas. So he's a good player, guys. Like getting him in the 4th round, I was very, very happy about that. And I have high hopes for Walker in 2026 because this defense looks a lot different, and I think we need a lot of different avenues to provide production, right? Levante David's gone. Hassan Reddick was not even close to what we thought we were going to get in terms of wanting that Eagles edge rusher that's going to get 10-plus sacks. That's not what's happening right now. We have a veteran edge rusher in Al-Qudim Muhammad coming in, and then David Walker and Anthony Nelson, and where is everyone else going to fit in, right? So I think it's going to be a collective, fun defensive line group that we're going to see this year, and I think David Walker will definitely get some playing time, and we'll see what happens because the 4th rounder from Central Arkansas, I have a high ceiling for him, and I think he's going to do very, very well. All right, subscribe today if you haven't already. If you enjoyed the show and you're like, hey, that was actually pretty good, this guy knows what he's talking about, it was a fun watch, and you're still watching right now, that means you enjoyed the show. So if you think the Buccaneers defense will be better than last year and you're enjoying what we got here going on at Bucs Breakdown, do you agree? Join the channel, have some fun, watch some fun videos during the offseason for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll be here for the season as well. So don't go anywhere. Lock yourself in for one of the best YouTube communities out there for Bucs Breakdown. I mean, we're doing great here. So join the channel, have some fun, and as always, fire the cannons.